All right, everybody, Bryce here, coming at you with another real quick crypto market update. Things are getting pretty interesting here in the market. Never a dull moment, but particularly right now, especially relative to the summer doldrums that we're coming out of, where August was just horrible and volatility was just declining. We finally got a little kickstart here in the market. Last week, obviously, that huge liquidation of long positions, something like $2 billion across Bitcoin and altcoins, is wiped off on that big move. So that scared a lot of people out of the market, and it's slowly been grinding a little bit lower as that volatility starts to kick back up. So people are back from their summer vacations, the bankers, the traders, everybody's back, and you can clearly see the volatility is starting to come back. So I'm excited, but remember, volatility cuts in both directions, right? We just had some volatility down for the past couple weeks. I'm expecting volatility back up for the next couple weeks, and especially into the close of the year. You guys know I've been talking about the Bitcoin ETF that's occurring, right? That's being fought out in the legal sort of, in the courts right now, where Grayscale just won a decisive victory against the SEC. SEC has till the middle of October to kind of come back and either come up with a new reason for why they're going to decline the ETF or what their path forward is. But I think they're actually going to just kind of bow down and say, all right, we lost. And so I think that's a good anchor point, understanding that Bitcoin ETF is going to open up the floodgates to capital into the markets. And so understanding that as that long-term narrative, that long-term driver, in tandem with the Bitcoin halving, which is slated for April of this next upcoming year, 2024. So that makes, the Bitcoin halving, for those who haven't heard some of my other talks, it's really what dictates Bitcoin's scarcity. Every 4 years, approximately every 4 years, Bitcoin becomes twice as scarce, essentially, because the rate of inflation of new coins gets cut in half. So there's technically less sell pressure or less coins that could get floated on the open market. And the rate of that slows down primarily. And so anyhow, so the Bitcoin halving is happening, and that's really big. That's why a lot of people buy Bitcoin, is because they trust that this inflation will never hyperinflate, never get out of control. It's going to be a nice stable currency in the long run, secure, and something I believe as well. And so I'm really excited about the Bitcoin halving, the Bitcoin ETF, but also the Ethereum ETF. Just got sort of filed for. So it's not only just going to be the Bitcoin ETF if it gets approved, but it looks like the writing is on the wall for the Ethereum ETF as well. This would be tremendous for the altcoin market, because guess what? If it's Ethereum, guess who's next to fall in line? One of the other dozen altcoins. And I think this is incredible. This is an incredible opportunity for investors to just be ahead of the curve. You buy before the ETFs and the mutual funds and the pension funds and the endowments and the retirement funds and the 401ks and all that stuff are able to buy Bitcoin, right? Because right now they'd have to go through Coinbase. It's too clunky. Financial advisors are not really advising clients to go open up this account and go through all that stuff. Most people just have it in their BlackRock account, their Vanguard account, their Fidelity account, their Charles Schwab account. They click around, right, and it's easy. Bitcoin will be available in those sort of platforms through this ETF, God willing, by the end of the year. Okay, so this is big. This is big. This is first, and again, Ethereum, and then all the other cryptos fall in line from there, and then you just open up the floodgates to basically connect the real world of investing with the crypto world of investing. So this is big. I'm really excited. And there's a couple other things that are actually occurring right now, which I think is kickstarting some of this volatility. Primarily, there was some favorable accounting practices and guidelines that were just passed, just standardized by the Financial Accounting Standards Board, I believe, FASB, who's responsible for how public companies report their earnings and their accounting, and how they report their basically on their balance sheets and their income statements, how they account for all their different assets and stuff. So fancy stuff. I'm not an accountant by trade, and nothing I say is tax or legal or financial advice, of course, but from my understanding of the way that these new kind of accounting guidelines just got passed, it's going to allow companies to bring crypto or bring Bitcoin, Ethereum, any of these things onto their balance sheet, and be able to leverage it in a more productive way, in a more capital efficient way, with fair value accounting, where you can mark to market the value of these assets. Prior to that, people were accounting for it that would, in a way that mandated them to have a large impairment if the value fluctuated to the downside. And so there's very interesting developments there. But one of the guys who I like to follow is a guy named Matt Hogan. He's the CIO of Bitwise. Bitwise does all these crypto ETFs and such. What's interesting about what he said, about these accounting standards, he goes, I remember back when he was the CEO of ETF.com, right, which was big back in the day. He was running that when they were first coming out, and he says I see a lot of similarities here with when fixed income had an accounting change or an accounting rule change that allowed for a lot of investors to start buying fixed income and accounting for it in a way that really blew the doors open off of that sort of those fixed incomes and those bond ETFs. And so what he's saying here as well is now that crypto has this new accounting standard for these public companies, it could blow the doors open off of all these other public companies wanting to bring Bitcoin onto their balance sheet. Okay, so this is big. Bringing it on their balance sheet would probably drive the price up quite a bit. So I'm excited about these rules. Again, they're unless you're a CPA, you probably never even heard of the Financial Accounting Standard Boards, let alone know that how all these different things work. But just know that in the background, despite some of the negative headlines you might read about crypto or whatever, just understand that there are very, very, very positive developments going on in this market. So read beyond the headlines, guys. This is good stuff, and this is just happening all just this week. So it is relevant, it is very pertinent that you guys make sure you're getting exposure to this market, that you're not just listening and hearing and going along with your day, but you're buying while prices are low and while people are not really paying attention to the market too much, because once that volatility spikes and the media starts to throw on the gravy train and starts to get all crazy again with that Bitcoin volatility, with the halving coming up, things are going to get crazy. You want to buy before the mania. And I think right now is a great value with Bitcoin right around $25,000, Ethereum right around $1,600, and many other altcoins, particularly DeFi is a sector I'm paying attention to, have just tremendous value. And there's a lot of select coins that I've been doing fundamental and technical analysis on with my team to point everybody in the right direction. So anyhow, that's your market update, and I hope you enjoyed. And by the way, if you guys are not already subscribed to a crypto analysis service where you could get technical analysis, fundamental market newsletters, all sorts of reports, live streams, video courses, how to just basically crush and dominate the crypto market. If you don't have a service like that but you want it, come talk to us. In fact, I got an offer for you. For $1, you can get a 2-week trial. Okay, 2-week trial to come and see behind the scenes everything that we're doing, how we're crushing the markets, buy zones, sell zones, good value areas to set your longs or shorts, whatever it is. Come trade with us. Come learn how to invest in the crypto markets. And again, click the button below. $1 2-week trial. Come see.